Look out the window, what a beautiful sunny day it is. We haven't had a whole lot of sunny days, so this is lovely. My workplace is hosting booster shots today with the nurses and medical profession, so I'm off to that and I'll catch up with you soon. I've just pulled over and I wanted to show you, well, it looked really pretty to me today because we did a light snowfall, so and it's really cold. It's -15, I think. And the snow has maintained, so it's just really pretty, lightly dusted snow. Okay, I'm just over here at my stove. I'm just going to put some lunch on, and this is a dish I really love. When you grow your own gorgeous green beans, and if you get them at this stage when they are the beautiful green, we all know we love them fresh from the garden, just, lightly sauteed or boiled, and they're gorgeous. When they're frozen, I'm not a fan. However, this dish uses them beautifully, so they come alive, because what you're doing is braising your beans nice and slow. It's a 40-minute cook time in olive oil and tomatoes, and it transforms those beans. We're not going for crunchy, or even after the freezer we know they get squeaky. These will be, they described every recipe. They're velvety, they're gorgeous. It's a recipe we really, really enjoy, and green beans frozen are perfect, ideal. So this is one of the joys of that I'm trying to find all the time with my gardening. Sometimes my storage of freezing, I want to find the best recipes to use those. This is one of those. So what goes in it? Some of your green beans, lots of olive oil. You do not skimp on the olive oil. This is the braising and makes it rich. Tomatoes, if you have fresh tomatoes, awesome. I do have some frozen fresh from my garden, but I'm going to stick with the tin. That's nice and easy today. Your own garlic. I'm just using 2. These are 2 enormous cloves, so whatever you like. You could throw in 4, 6, whatever you like for garden. It's for garlic. A bay leaf, 1 of my own onions, a couple of my own potatoes, and that's it. And then I simmer it, as I say, for 40 minutes, I would, pretty much. And they're not mushy. It's just a beautiful velvety bean stew. Really, really delicious and totally vegan. Also, to pump up the flavor, I'm going to add some cumin and some of my own oregano. Ooh, I don't have much in that container. Hopefully I have more in there. And I will finish it at the very end with just a squeeze of lemon juice and some of my fresh parsley that I've growing in my window. Okay, never want to really give you a good play-by-play of my recipes, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop my onion, chop my garlic. Saute those in about 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. Again, do not skimp on the olive oil. That's the richness, that's the braising. Add your beans and your chunked up potatoes. I just, you know, I'll do them in big chunks. Like, you can do whatever you like, but, and 2, 3, 1 potato, whatever you would like, because it's all about the beans. Then add the beans. Toss those around in the olive oil for a few minutes. Add your canned tomatoes, your cumin, your bay leaf, your oregano, and let simmer for 40 minutes and go on about your day, which is what I'm about to do now. So again, this is braising, so you just make sure your liquid's on there. There's the tomatoes. Should you require just a bit more water to top up to make sure everything is submerged. Here I've added just a bit of water from the can, rinsed, and make sure everything's submerged, and away you go. All done. It's even good for breakfast, and you feel like you're in the Mediterranean. Well, this is now the next day. That booster shot I had took me down. I had every flu symptom going, the works, before the night was over, and I was up all night. Anyway, today's another day. I wanted to say a big thank you to Carla from Kamloops, BC, who sent me these lovely, Carla's a beautiful knitter, by the way, these homemade, gorgeous little seed packs. Aren't they beautiful? Little envelopes. Carla, that is just the sweetest thing on earth, to not only make some extra ones, but to plop them in the mail to me. Very much appreciated. They're lovely. So sweet, so sweet. So since I'm still feeling slightly under the weather, I just thought I'd talk about, well, actually what I'm currently looking at today, which is what we gardeners always do. It's January here in Newfoundland, which is zone 5B in my particular area where the ocean is. And time to review the seeds, make sure we have what we need, those basics. And if they're viable or not. I do have some very old seeds in here, but I'm trying to limit my crazy seed buying. I've never been crazy, but I try to really contain and compartmentalize and make sure that there's no need to have seeds that are just going to get old that I'm not using. And we don't really have seed exchanges here that well. So I'm pretty good there. Don't think I have to spend too much money on seeds at all. I'll get a few things, and I'll get a few fun things. This is another year in my garden where I will add more. Started small. So if you're a new gardener, of course, that's what you do. You start small and you grow from there, and see each year you add on. So I'm at a stage now where Bruce is adding 2 more beds. That will be 12 raised beds for me. I just rotate those, so each year I don't really have to plan too much about where I'm putting potatoes or, you know, brassicas. I just move them down one to freshen up the soil. And I've also got, we did some landscaping this year, just a little bit, and there's this patch that I've got my eye on that I think I can, if I can get my hands on some soil, and some good loam, that will be another new little planting area, because I do want to expand my growing this year. Because I'm ordering less seeds, I splurged and bought 6 raspberry stalks. That's because I've always wanted raspberries, but they're a messy thing and I was putting it off. But we have enough land around us that is wild anyways, so I think I can find a spot to put some raspberries and start those growing, which would be another berry forest, which is wonderful. Still eating all my berries. We had a really great year. It has gotten, there's only 2 of us, but it's gotten us through the season. I still have tons of strawberries. I have tons of tons of blueberries. The black currant's still good. Very few red currants, and I got a very few, and they're still in there, of the cherry, what do you call it? Oh, I can't think what it is. It'll come to me later. Ground cherry. So I'm going to get those raspberries, put them somewhere. 2 more raised beds. Another little plot over here. I would like to expand where I put my garlic and my potatoes, just to widen that. Again, got to see where I am at that time of year. And it's peak time for my work. So it's very difficult for me to come home to garden. But I do. So I'm not so sure how much of the beds I'll get going. So can't check the viability of these seeds yet. It's too early. I mean, I could play around with it, but no sense. I'll do it when then I can plant them if they are viable. Turnips I know are old. All kinds of things like that. I've gone through this. I've got little tins with different things in them. So this is all my beans and peas and my saved seeds. Yeah, I've got lots of saves. This is my corn salad. So I've got plenty to play with, and I'm pleased with that. So I'm not worried about that. It's really more, where am I going to put everything that I want to grow? Very happy this year that we had so much to store from our garden. It was a really productive year. And so now I can have fun. I've bought artichoke seeds, globe artichokes. This is supposed to be one that will grow artichokes in the first year, because here they aren't perennial, they are annual. I'm going to play around with those. What other things? I got some fun things, but very few. Oh, I want to grow garlic as a perennial. I read it about years and years ago from an Italian gentleman, that it was an article where he said he just leaves the garlic, and he's never, in 30 years or whatnot, had to worry about garlic. It's always there. It's a little different, but yeah, I'd like to start seeing if I can get a little patch of perennial garlic. All you do is you leave it in the ground, leave a few bulbs for a few years. So I'd like to try that. Always looking for ways to maximize my perennials. I want to take cuttings from my black currants and red currant, stick them in either water or soil, I'll look it up, and expand those too. Yeah. So I'm confident I've got enough seeds to throw around. It's too early for me here yet to start seeds. Soon I will. Probably the 1st of February. Yeah, it's coming. Start my Brussels sprouts. I don't grow onions from seeds, though I try them every year. They never work. I don't know if I'll bother this year. I'm just not good with it, and I don't know why. It's supposed to be fantastic way to grow them. I just use sets. And there's so much bother, and I don't have time during the growing season of all times to worry about all the little seedlings and planting out and hardening off. I can't harden off. So I think I'll stick with the sets, which are already ordered. My potatoes are ordered. And so Brussels sprouts, celery. I have to start my celery. I think I have celeriac. Oh, and my leeks. Those I do need to start early. I played around with starting them a little later. And like this past season, for example, and they were smaller. So I've got to go back to starting those very early. Actually, any day I can start those. They do really well for me. I love my leeks. And yeah, I pushed it a little too much. I thought it'd be okay. But they'll start early. So that's about it right now with my planning. That's all I do. I want it fun. It's not stressful for me. If a vegetable, or if some seeds don't come up for that matter, if a vegetable doesn't work, it's okay. There's so many different kinds that it just won't be a big year for. Well, last year I didn't have beets because of the mice, so that's all right. I still had jars of pickled beets, and we just did without roasted beets and things like that. Really didn't miss them. And that's the fun of it. Again, just play around. What works, enjoy it. What doesn't, it's okay. It will probably do fantastic the next year and something else not do well. That's just the life of a garden. So the only planning I'm really doing is how can I expand? and got some ideas, and we'll see how that goes, and I'm looking forward to it. So here's the wee patch where I think there's a good amount of space there for some extra growing. Yeah, just go crazy. Even if it's lettuce, if I don't have enough soil first year, I think it'll be a good spot. And then I'll try to make it pretty around the fire pit. And down here, this is where it's been 2 years promising, so I do believe I will get it this year, where Bruce is going to do the final last two. He already has the wood, the tree, and he has culled quite a few rocks for this project of the final 2 beds, making it 12. So have a wonderful week.